I totaled 850 kilos, weighing 104.7, and is some amount of GL points that I don't really care about at all. But I had a great time. It was a very good day of lifting from me. I can say that, like, it's the first 9 out of 9 that I've done since Estonia in 2023, which is Europeans, where I came second with 877. I did 850 on 9 for 9, whilst my prep, having been playing rugby through it, training for rugby, doing another sport, and I'm very, very happy about that. Like, that is, like, I didn't expect that I'd actually be able to hold on to that much strength while playing rugby at the same time. Like, I knew my plan was pretty good. Like, I had backed myself enough in terms of my programming and my knowledge of myself and how I work, that I'd be able to hang on to pretty much all of it. But to be doing 850, whereas when I've been like boom, 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 like powerlifting everything, like tunnel vision on it, my last few totals have been, I think, what was 855 at Northerns, 840 at Europeans, 865 at the British before that, 860, 862 at Mani Open before that. Like, I was basically that level of strength on comp day whilst playing another sport and doing that. So, I mean, well done me. It's pretty much all the props I'm going to give myself for this. But it was pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. And it's the first time in a long time that I felt like genuinely happy with a performance that I put up, without some caveat of, oh, but this, oh, but that. And I don't know if it's because I've removed a lot of the pressure with playing rugby at the same time. I know it's very boring with me saying with playing rugby at the same time and caveating everything, but it's worthwhile saying to kind of get it out of my head and to remind myself that I've actually done well with it. Because I don't really give myself enough credit for a lot of the things that I do. I kind of just assume that I should be doing them anyway. But this is one where I'm like, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. It's nice to sit back and reflect on it and like genuinely feel warm emotions about it and not be like Europeans. There's a conversation I had with CJ and Ade quickly at the end of British, because CJ was gutted, which is sad to see, like one of your friends being really upset at a meet. But me and Ade are both sharing stories about kind of crying like after powerlifting meets, and like Europeans for me is one of those where I finished it, dropped my last 2 deadlifts on a day where I'd recovered from a back issue in prep, squatted a great 327 on the day, and kind of got through a load of stuff in prep. I still don't want to swear. Load of stuff in prep, and got to the day, was so excited, and just dropped 2 deadlifts in a row. And at the time, I tried to I kept it together. There, I was pissed off, like obviously, like as you are in these things. Kept it together there, and I remember getting back to my hotel room and just crying. Just bawling my eyes out for like 20 minutes. Just straight, just sat there crying. Like no one else around. And that's kind of like the feeling that had been going on in powerlifting for me for a while. It's been kind of like pent up of that. I'm trying so hard and getting so little out of myself on the day, and it's like, it's not killing me, but it's real sad to be doing that and putting in all that work. And like that night I went and deadlifted again. Very French of me, to finish a comp and then go back and be like, okay, it's time to lift some more. See if I can correct my mistakes like straight away. And that was a nice session. I trained with, because Joe Moore was doing the photography. And so me and Joe were just deadlifting in a hotel gym at like 11 midnight. It was great. And evening fast. But yeah, to actually have warm, positive emotions after a powerlifting meet is great. And I didn't think I'd ever be able to do that with that 850. But I think it kind of shows a lot of personal growth in the fact that had I hit like 840 and came third, I'd probably still feel the same way. Just that the act of being able to do it and put together a pretty much perfect day was real good. But anyways, go through it step by step. So go through squats and bench and deadlifts. I have notes on my laptop about what to speak about because I go off so much, and my notes are came third, la 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 for the start of the video, and then go through squats, bench, and deadlifts, and then go, wow, how amazing. So that's what's going on. So squats were really good. Warm-ups for squats felt solid. My rehydration was pretty good. I came into warm-ups feeling pretty normal. Things felt good. Like from 170, I knew I was gonna have a reasonably good day. It's hard to tell like how much of a good day. Like I wasn't moving insanely fast. I wasn't like old school, just like boom. But those just push. It felt nice. It felt stable. It felt consistent. It felt like my taper did its job. Obviously, very rare that I actually use the taper, but I needed it and it worked pretty well. So I'll have that saved away for the next time I compete. To repeat that, essentially, if I get the same feeling, I know how much to adjust. Keep that locked away, which is essentially what a lot of my program for myself is. It's just things that I've done, keep it locked away. And then it's like, oh, okay, it's probably a good time to use this now. It's the perks of being older and having trained for a while and keeping an eye on all my blocks. So warm-ups felt good. Went out for 295, no issue really. It was just whippy. The bars were either whippy or I'm way skinnier than I thought I was. Because I unracked 295 and all I felt was my just shaking, which is why I stood there for a while. And it's a trick I've learned over the years of if it's heavy and it's whippy and you've got to squat it essentially. You can't re-rack it, try again. Like you're not going to. Just wait, let the bar settle, let everything get complete still. Then walk out, do the same thing again. And just slowing that process down and being okay with it being slower is something that I think just comes with experience. Some people it doesn't affect them at all. They just walk out, bars whipping everywhere, and they're absolutely fine. But for me, I tend to shake quite a lot when it gets to that. And something that Owen, funny enough, Owen was working on me with at Euros 22 is that it's like walk out, like because I set the hips back, brace, hold, let the bar stop because when bracing or shrugging, that bar can start whipping again, and then descend. So kind of had that in my head for it. And always have in those heavier lifts, had that kind of thought process going to kind of look after myself. 295 moved pretty well, jumped to 312. The plan was 315, but 295 wasn't good enough for it, so we went 312 instead, which Jake's cool, like completely agreed that 295 wasn't good enough to justify it. And then 312 was just a bit ropey, like I wasn't as locked in as I should be. I was pretty locked in, but I wasn't like, I was like here, I wasn't like here. And it went pretty smoothly, but it was one of those where I'd lost my brace, so I could feel it and I could feel my back on like coming up out of the hole. So I knew that there wasn't, if I squatted the same way again, there wasn't that many kilos left in the tank. I knew I could grind out about 320. And so Jake was like 320 or 322, chose 20. And CJ was lifting just before me. Well, there's two before me, so I watched CJ's third squat and it got overturned for depth. And that's kind of in the game plan of how I thought the day would unfold. That third squat was a pretty big turning point for the day. The chip on bench wasn't going to really do anything for him. It's half a kilo because it was 222, but that third squat was kind of a big deal in terms of where I'd make up kilos because my opening total was only 775. I think his was like 95 or something. I'll get the numbers, so I'll find out. And essentially just, as soon as he missed it, I was there. Like I was as locked in as I've ever been. Like I don't think there's a single lift in my life where I've been more locked in than that. Like that was, yeah. Like I was on the border, like there's like tears in my eyes, like I couldn't hear a single thing. And just went through the motions and smoked 320. It was great. So I was really happy about that coming off. Like me and Jake put us in a perfect position. And then I had to warm up for bench press. Great. Compared to where I wanted it to be. So conservative 175 opener, 182, and then I'll skip over bench. Bench is boring. Skip over bench. So I did 182, and then CJ had jumped 10 from opener to second, so we're kind of covering that on the third. There was like do we go 187 for it? But it's like secure the 2.5 kilos on bench. It's worth it to just not miss and just keep that momentum rolling. So I took 185 from a third. which is pretty good. It's a pretty solid rep. Heaviest I've benched since I did my shoulder. I benched 190 that day. Haven't touched 190. Touched 182 in prep 2 weeks out. 190 a week out. 185 on the day. So it's worked out pretty well as well. So happy with that. Put me kind of where I needed to be. And then got to deadlifts, which is the fun part. So deadlifts. So I came into deadlifts 12.5 kilos behind on subtotal. So the way Jake and I both do the maths for like working out, use the subtotal, work out the difference, then you add in for body weight, etc. So it's 12.5 kilos. So I could match CJ's total because I had body weight advantage. I was opening 5 kilos heavier than CJ. So I was in the driving seat for it and kind of knew roughly where he'd end up from what he posted in prep, which was that 330 to 335 range. CJ talked about 340 on the stories, but watching it, it's like 330 to 335 is probably where it's going to be. And with the 12.5 kilos, like by the time it got to deadlifts, I kind of knew that I could come third. Like it was going to have to be me messing up. I didn't think that he could reach a point where he'd push how my deadlift felt on the day far enough with that. And I was right. And it's annoying that CJ is my friend because I'd love to throw out some more stuff and make it a bit more dramatic. But I was just like, okay. So I took my time. Basically, I'd finish each lift and I'd leave the area. And I'm not allowed to say that I left the venue because I didn't leave the venue. I just went outside for some fresh air between everything. And played some badminton on my phone. That's a little game. Because I was like, I need to rehydrate. I need to get away from all the noise of being in there. Like it was loud and overstimulating for the most part. So I didn't really want to talk to anyone. Just wanted to hide away. So I would go outside, sit on the bench with rehydration and stuff, drink it, play a couple of games on my phone, text my sister, and then continue with the meet. Because I knew there's enough time to be able to do that. So I went outside and kind of sat there and was like, well, it looks like you're going to be able to do this. You just need to take time, execute. It's within your control. Like nothing else can really matter now. They took my opener of 305. They jumped to 322. And Jake and I kind of said like, they might overextend, so we don't want to go too heavy on our second. So we decided on 320, just another small jump, a weight that should fly for me. And I basically put that in. And I said to Jake, just doesn't matter now. Just sit above, wait for him to deadlift. I'll just deadlift more. Like I feel my deadlift felt great. It's the best it's felt. I can't remember. It felt great. Like I was like, I'm absolutely fine here. I've got no worries on this. I feel like because my hype for that deadlift was more based in not you need to win this. It was more a little bit on don't miss, which is what it shouldn't be. It should be more like you can get this or like attacking it rather than just don't miss. But I knew for 345 at that point, I didn't need to be like here. So I just sat like hype level about here. So chilled, just execute, hold on to the damn thing, don't drop it again. All those kind of negative thoughts go floating through your head and it's like, okay, I just got to focus on my process. Big brace, wedge hard. Lock the thing out, don't drop it. So it worked out pretty well. It was a pretty smooth deadlift. And I feel like if I'd needed to, I could have pulled up to 55, which is what for the whole of prep and since this started, what I predicted that I would need for the day was 55. And I was pretty much right in terms of if CJ had hit one more lift, it would have been that. Would have been needing to be 55. And I think it was there. I think with some more intent, kind of the moment and all those things, that it would have been there. But it was a great day, like thoroughly enjoyable, great time. Nice to see everyone again. Like you forget being out of it for a little while, like just how many people are there and how many lives you see everyone's training, see everyone's prep, and you get there on comp day and you barely see what anyone does. There's people in my own flight. I know how CJ's day went. And I've had to go back and watch Nathaniel and Sanchez and see what they actually did and other people in the flight and see how they actually got on and how it all ran, because I'm so locked up in my own world of like, it's me and Jake here and that's it. and everyone outside of that doesn't really matter. Like, me and Jake are here to do a job, and it worked out pretty well. So I'm very happy. I'm very happy with that. I'm very thankful to Jake for helping out. Yeah, good day, very good day. And it's gonna be very positive for a long time. I think there's no chance of me retiring from powerlifting or anything silly like that. But kind of a little newfound love that I can really enjoy powerlifting still. And I think I'd enjoy it just as much if it wasn't the British or if it's the English, it's competition. Like, as long as there is competition and I'm amongst it, I don't need to be at the top. Like, if I've got someone to battle against, I don't care. I just don't think I could do it without being competitive with someone. So like these mid-offs that people call them, the mid-off, whatever it is. Just you and a bunch of mates competing against each other, setting goals, like competing at the same time. Like, that's great and that's the best. Like, that's the best part. Like, it's competing against each other. And it was CJ, and it was a load of fun. And I'm sure we'll run it back again sometime next year. So what's next for me is I'm going to wait and see if I get a Euros invite. There's no chance at Worlds. Worlds definitely not happening. If anyone in third place can get to Worlds, like, it's not really good. I mean, it's how I got my first opportunity to go to Worlds, but nowadays with how the system is, there's no chance. So I'm going to pray for a Euros invite. And it's very, very unlikely, but a little part of me just thinks that there's a chance. And I think I'll probably end up getting a reserve invite. So I believe most of the starting roster for Worlds won't do Euros because they've got other things, like competed 6 times last year, or they've got Sheffield, they just want to rest. Like, most of them need off seasons. Not off seasons, they just need to chill and not compete for a bit. Have a little bit of a mental reset as well. So I think there'll be some spaces opening up for that. So wait for that. And if I don't get that, then it'll be the English in May. It's not confirmed yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be May time. So I'll prep for that, and that would be fun. Don't know how I'm going to prep for it yet. Don't know how I'm going to prep if it's Euros. Don't know how I'm going to prep if it's the English. Don't know how it's going to fit into my rugby season. Which is a difficult one because I feel like I owe the boys some games. But I'll wait and see. I'm not going to write myself any training till I find out about the Euros thing. And I'm just going to go in, probably do some front squats, do some general movement, GPP stuff, rather than powerlifting. I might do a couple of benches, probably won't deadlift, probably won't low bar squat. Just have an actual old man 2 weeks off after competition type thing.